Hello viewers, thank you for tuning into my channel. Today we're going to talk about ADHD. We're going to recap what the psychologist said, and if you've watched the last 3 episodes of my topic, you're going to admit that the psychologist is oozing with a lot of knowledge here. So ADHD is a neurodevelopmental disorder that impairs the way the brain develops and it slows it down. And there are 3 types of ADHD. There is the hyperactive type, the inattentive type, or a combination of the 3. And the one thing that I was like, I'm so guilty. If you look at the other videos that I've done, mostly I say a normal child, like as opposed to like if someone has these conditions and then someone who does not, I refer to someone who does not as a normal child. It is wrong, and all that time I've been doing that, I meant no offense, but I've learned that someone who has grown and observed the milestones as they are supposed to, and they have no developmental disorders, they are called a neurotypical child. Yes, I know you have learned something up to there. And then you can live without knowing that you have ADHD your entire life. Yeah, so even me right now, I can have ADHD and have no idea why. Because ADHD presents itself when you're put in an environment that strains your abilities. Like for instance, I cannot do what? I cannot play the instrument, or I hate music, for instance. Then I'm put in a class that's in a music class, or in a class that requires me to play the instrument. That environment has strained my abilities and it has pushed me to the limit. So definitely what happens, ADHD will present itself, and I'll express either of the 3 types of ADHD. Symptoms will start manifesting. Interestingly, for a long time, the society has made us to believe that a woman should take care of herself when she's expectant, that if she gives birth to a child who is not normal, it's her fault. It is not her fault. Even you as a father can contribute to your child having Down syndrome, ADHD, by the kind of lifestyle that you're leading when you're trying to have a child, and during and when your wife is expectant. So if you smoke cigarettes, cannabis, you chew mirror, all those things, and your wife is in the same room, and now she becomes a passive consumer of those things that you're consuming, it predisposes your child to being born with ADHD. Okay? Yes. And then people with ADHD are prone to drug and substance abuse. The first time I heard that thing was in a book. I read a book about that, and I was like, geez, I don't even want to talk about this, And apparently they do, because sometimes they are self-medicating, or they are treating a certain symptom, and they become addicted to it without knowing. So over and over and over, you use it. So that is substance abuse. Even peer pressure, they can fall into peer pressure very easily, and that will lead to them abusing drugs. Yes, so they are more prone to drug and substance abuse more than a neurotypical child is. And then when it comes to ADHD and autism, the symptoms can overlap. So you will find that it's really hard to tell if this is ADHD or if this is autism. And ADHD can only be fully diagnosed at the age of 12. So you're going to receive a formal diagnosis of if your child is having ADHD at the age of 12. Forgive me for keeping on mentioning about Down syndrome, but today I think the thing Down syndrome is so much in my mind. So that is a general recap or overview of ADHD. If you haven't already watched those interviews, spare a minute or 2 and go and watch them. You will be educated and you will love that content. Also, remember to leave a comment or subscribe to my channel. Guys, I want questions. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know what you want to know, so that we can create content around it. Yes. And if you want us to host Zawadi here on more topics, please let me know. Then we can host her. Yeah. Enjoy your evening.